What's up everyone, it is Dan. Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk. Do all those YouTubey things like hit the like button, subscribe button, all those things that help us grow. Roll that intro. What is up everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are looking at the Ritchie Kotzen RK5 Tech21 Fly Rig version 2 pedal. So this is one of my friend's pedals that I've borrowed from him. I saw some videos of Ritchie playing live and saw that this was on the floor and wondered what it was. One of my friends told me what it was and said that he had one. So I said, hey, can I borrow it to do a video with and see what I think? And he said, yeah. So this is not sponsored. It is completely my own thoughts, unbiased, 100% what I think of the pedal. So I have got my PRS core line McCarty with a rosewood neck, standard pickups, coil splits, lots of tones to choose from, plugged into the pedal, which is going out via an XLR into my interface, which is recording over there. I'm listening back through monitors, so all bypassed. This is the sound of the guitar. Which, to be fair, doesn't actually sound that bad. So let's take a look at what we've got on the pedal. You can see it's version 2 because they've added some stuff, I believe, to this version that Ritchie wanted and a few little things that Tech21 had come up with, like this XLR, which I use a Fractal FM9 Live, which goes to the PA via an XLR cable. So this is very familiar to me and makes it a lot more usable for what I do. I'm recording the actual pedal with this iPhone here, so I will have to navigate my way around the iPhone to change the settings, but we will do what we can there. So you can see we've got input here and XLR here. As far as I'm aware, all of the controls work in order of what you can see there. So we go in through the boost, OMG, which is a distortion overdrive that you can turn into a fuzz, reverb, tuner function, you've got your sounds amp there, which is your amp emulation, then that goes into your time-based effects. So everything's kind of in the order you would want it to be. So let's start off by turning on the sounds amp. Everything's set to noon-ish, so we can hear what it sounds like. A nice warm tone. Let's turn that level up and give it a bit more. Lovely warm tone. I quite like that. I think this emulates a Marshall style amp. I think that's what Ritchie uses live. Cornfords, Victory, and quite often you see him with a Marshall. So obviously we've got a drive control there, lows, mids, highs. These aren't like normal amp EQs, depending on the amp that you use. So you set your low, which then feeds into the mids, which then feeds into the highs. So quite nice straight away that responds to the volume control on the guitar. So obviously you can set these however you want them. I'm kind of learning as I go with this. I haven't had too much of a play with it. So for basic kind of amp tones, which with this XLR you could plug it into a desk, or you could, if you wanted to, plug it straight into a PA system and just use this and go direct. For basic amp tones, I think that's really good. So we'll see how it reacts to if we, let's start with this quite low and make sure it's just on the overdrive and turn the overdrive on. I love when you put the coil split on the guitar, I love the way it feels like it responds better. There's more openness and dynamics there. It works well with the humbuckers, which I'm on now. But single coil, there's a bit more openness there, or at least from what I can hear from the monitors. Let's take the level down and turn the drive up and see what that does. So plenty of sounds you can get there. One thing I'm noticing straight away is that the controls are quite sensitive, so I think you would need to dial this in carefully and just really make sure that you're getting exactly the tone that you want, and then just don't move the controls, because it sounds to me like there's going to be a bit of a drastic change. So I would probably set this to be a bit of a dual channel, so I'd want a little bit more drive on there. I can clean up with the guitar controls. And then with the overdrive, if I wanted really big overdrive sound. So yeah, I definitely think you want to set the Sounds amp first and then the Overdrive to taste. Moving on from these two, we've obviously got our Boost, which is pre-amp, so I guess yeah, where it's pre, so it just kind of like pushes the input of the amp emulation more and just kind of piles on the gain a bit more. I guess Ritchie plays in a trio most of the time, so that kind of makes sense where he's the only guitar player. Personally, I would like to see that boost after the amp so that you actually get a proper volume boost. So if you're playing in, I play in a 6-piece band, so I've got sometimes me on electric, someone else on electric, someone on acoustic, and someone on like a mandolin or something. So for me, I'd want this to be after the amp so that I can get a proper volume boost, so that if I've got a solo, I can properly elevate myself above everyone else. But you know, that is what it is. I think some of these actually have a switch, so you can turn this into a compressor. I think some of the Tech21 pedals have a switch, so you can have it pre or post. That would have been really useful, in my opinion, on there. Let's turn the reverb on and see what we get. Let's clean that up a bit. That's a really nice sounding reverb, I like that. Let's put it, so you've got a switch there so you can change it between short and long. So that's a bit more of like a slapback reverb, and then I think I like the long reverb. I'm someone who likes to cheat a little bit and hide some of my sloppy playing, especially in these videos. So that's cool. Love the reverb. Let's turn the delay on. So it's nice that obviously this is all very nice and clear when you turn these on, so you can see what is on and what is off. Delay, tap tempo. So there's a tap tempo, which is nice. You can see when you hit the switch, you can see that it's definitely pressed. It would be nice if that carried on flashing, so you can see straight away what speed you are rather than flash once if it just kept going. Time, drift, so like analog style delay echoes, I guess. Repeat, so like your feedback control, delay level. Let's try that. That is a very, very usable delay. I like that a lot. We've got a headphone control on here as well, so you can use the SansAmp stuff through headphones, so you can use this as a kind of all-in-one practice solution in your living room. And then it looks like these two are connected to this Roto as well. So you've got a really cool Roto sound there as well. You can either have the delay or the Roto. You can't have both, but then obviously if you had both it would start sounding really messy. But that's a nice little addition just if you want something a little bit of extra flavor. And then if you hold this down as well, you get a tuner which very straightforward to use, nice and clear. Let's turn that off and so again, very, very usable. And then a big dirty fuzz as well if you want a different flavor. I mean, I love this pedal. That is a lot of features to pack into something so small. As I said, you can use this into the front end of an amp as well, which I believe with that you would use the SansAmp as more of like an EQ if you wanted to EQ your amp a little bit more. And then all the other effects, so your delay, reverb, your overdrive, all that stuff just work like a normal stomp box. Obviously all into the front end of your amp. You can't separate that out to go into the effects loop because your overdrive, unless you were just using the delay, the overdrive would sound pretty nasty in the effects loop of an amp. Very, very impressive. I've said this in other videos before, I've been looking for a backup for my Fractal over there, just in case something ever happened to the Fractal and it went down mid-gig. And this XLR on the side of the unit to me makes it so good, because there's so many effects units out there, and amp emulators, modelers, effects pedals, all that stuff, and they at the lower price point, because I don't want to buy another FM3, because they're like between £1,700, £2,000, and it's a lot of money. But I want something to be able to carry around as a backup should, like, say someone spills a load of like their drink over that and it fries it, or something happens and I need to grab something to replace that. I can have this in my bag. It comes with a nice little tin, it's nice and protected, and I can just whip the XLR out of there, plug it into here straight through the PA, and I'm away. I've got amp emulation, a few effects should I need it, and I don't have to worry about grabbing a DI box. Like, you get the Tonex pedals, the Nano Cortex, another sort of mini kind of rig that you can use. Loads of, they don't have XLR outputs, so you either have to ditch the XLR cable and then find a long, depending on where you are on the stage, a long jack cable to plug into your desk, or you've got to suddenly get a DI box and rig all of that up. I just want something where I can take an XLR out of there, chuck it in here, and be away. Because the controls on this are so sensitive, shall we say, I think what I would want to do, and I might pick one of these up to use for exactly that, for just kind of practice at home with the headphones, and also for just keeping in my bag for gigs. What I will probably do is crank this up to gig level for a PA system and just really dial in these tones, and then maybe just with a bit of Tip-X or something like that, just make some marks on the pedal so that I know this is where the pedal should be set, and I know that through the PA this is going to sound great. There's no having to fine tune anything or something's not quite sounding right, just so it's kind of turn it on and go. I think that's a really good option. Let me know what you guys think. Have any of you got these? I know one of my friends has got another one of these pedals. I might get that one for review as well, but yeah, I'm kind of floored by just how good this is, which you would hope so, because I've heard Ritchie Kotzen play. Obviously, I'm nowhere near the player he is. He's like an absolute shred master, but he's always got a really good tone and uses these. So I think that it just goes to show that it's not anything secret there that he's using to get this to sound that good. It just does sound that good. And I know that Ritchie uses this as well, sometimes straight into an interface like I have to actually record some of his songs with. So incredibly useful. I'm massively impressed. Say, if you've got one, let me know what you think in the comments. How do you use yours? How do you find it? Are you interested in one of these? Yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think. Other than that, I'm gonna have some more fun with this. I'm surprised it's as good as it is for how big it is, how much they've crammed in there. I didn't expect it to be that cool. I'm a bit speechless. Let's say I might get one of these myself. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and other than that, like button, subscribe button, all that horrible stuff we ask you to do, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.